Hi, Janet. Thank you for joining me again for another conversation around fear. So it's been coming up a lot. This is why I invited you again. Someone asked me because I said, "Oh yeah, I had Janet Whitney on my channel. We talked about fear and letting go of it and how wonderful it is." And he's like, "What kind of fear?" Uh, and I'm like, "Oh, there's different kinds of fear." He goes, "Yeah, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of this, fear of that." I'm like, "Oh, well, I thought fear was just fear. It's an emotion." So I thought, why not bring you back on and we'll talk a little
Oh,
bit more in depth about what fear is. And then also, I'm looking at how we can shift the fear because sometimes, like for me, fear turns into anxiety and sleepless nights, and then unhealthy things start happening because I'm not sleeping well and having anxiety, and the body's not reacting to my healthy lifestyle anymore. So there's those things that I'd like to dive into today.
right, right. So, Tina, thank you for having me. And it's so funny because actually, I think I talked about last time that we're only born with two fears, the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. But now we know that they're irrational fears and they're rational fears. There are psychological fears and there are physical fears. The truth is, the physical fears are something that we probably want to pay attention to if a plane is crashing or the house is on fire or whatever. These psychological fears are deadly. They're deadly because people are not living fully because of that psychological something happened a long time ago and they still feel the pain and the fear from something a long time ago or just from being taught. Be afraid, don't go out, don't climb there. I don't know what your parents were like, but
Careful.
I know, I
Be
know,
careful.
I know. And they were doing it out of love. I get it. But I don't know if we want to be that careful. We have got to live life to its fullest. And did I tell you about this woman who was born without fear and what happened to her?
No, tell me.
That was so funny. And I guess there have been a few cases where fear doesn't register within the brain or whatever in human beings, in animals in general. It's funny. And so she was being robbed by a knife. A guy had a knife to her throat, and because she didn't feel fear, she started questioning him, like, "Why are you doing this? What would you want to do to me, like stabbing me?" And she got him so off guard that the guy dropped the knife and ran away. Um, I know, isn't it funny? The
That's
studies have shown
great.
people without fear don't live as long. Interesting.
People without fear don't live as long?
People without any registering of fear. So,
Oh.
they'll go to the edge of a cliff or they'll
Uh,
not put on their seatbelts or something like that. And so they might
So there
drink.
has to be some sort of fear based around it that just makes us human, right?
Right, right, because animals have it. So we have to take care of this body. And so the physical fears that we have that are based in reality are necessary to keep us safe. The ones where we're going, and I don't know if you do this, but most people do it, they go, what if? And so they're thinking about moving to the UK and they go, what if I don't know anybody? What if I can't find a job? These what
Oh,
ifs.
right.
And that's where we make ourselves crazy, and that's where we can't sleep, because we wake up and go, oh my gosh, did I pay the bill? Oh, I don't know what it might. Yeah.
Yeah, because there's also, I mean, I'm not the only one, but a lot of people are losing their jobs. A lot of people are in this state of no security, and it's a fearful place to be because they don't know what's going to happen for their future. So, can you talk a little bit about how people can like
Deal
get
with it.
through that type of fear?
Yeah, so lots of things are happening. Our world is in I did a podcast on disruption. There are disruptors going on in the political scene, in the world, on our earth. The earth is disrupting us. It's very unstable right now. And so what we want to go back to, I do the spiritual thing. I do think each of us signed up for this time. We came on this planet knowing that things were going to be challenging, and we've been in training our whole lives. Tina, if you think of your life and I think of my life, I have had challenges where I thought, could I really do this? And in my decades on the planet, I've realized, yeah, I really can. And that's what I want each and every one of your viewers to start saying to them. I can do this, I can do this. And in my podcast, I usually end it like, we can do this. We can do this because we can go through the changes that are occurring and survive and eventually thrive. I don't know when that's going to happen, but right now we're in survival. We are definitely in survival.
But okay. Here's the thing. I've been really looking into the mindset and how the mind works and how powerful we really are as creators. So even taking that fearful mindset of I don't know what's going to happen, the world's in chaos, what this shift in what we can our thoughts for our thinking, right? So for me, I would go, well, there's a lot of unstable things happening, but it's like, oh, well, that could be taken care of later. Oh, this is more important. Let's go this direction. Oh, this direction lights me up and just gives me energy. So I'm going to do this. And I'm going to focus on these priorities because this is what's going to help me out a lot more than this stuff. And yes, I've got to do this, but I don't want to, but I still do it. So like creating, so I have this friend and she's a channeler, she channels, and she talks to me about the matrix, this matrix thing. She goes, the matrix is yours. Whatever you think, whatever you say, what you believe and how you feel is going to be put in this matrix and that's going to be your life. And I'm like, oh shit. I've done and said some really crazy things that it shouldn't be in my matrix. So I'm very cautious these days to what I'm putting in the matrix. So there's been, when bad things happen, bad thoughts come through. And this shift of, okay, this bad thought comes through, let's stop this and let's go through it. So
Perfect.
and fear's the baseline. It's the feeling because it causes anxiety. Is that correct? Is
Right. So
fear
I
part
love what
of
you're saying.
anxiety?
Yeah, so what you're saying is as your brain goes to a negative pathway, you're training it to go to a positive pathway. And we are really meant to live in the state of joy. That, I mean, whoever created this, if you believe in God or whatever it might be, it was go find your joy. And so every time that we get knocked down or we have a negative thought, it's our responsibility to go change it up. Janet, stop. Tina, stop. Whatever. What are we working on? What's one step forward? Or what is something we love? And, dancing or being with the kids that we love or whatever it might be brings us joy, right? And that's where we want to go with our brains because then it's energy. It's energy attracting is similar energy. And negative energy attract you walk in a room and you feel somebody who's angry, it's like, whoa, right?
Ooh, yeah, get away.
And there's people who are sad and I understand that they're sad. But you're a light right now, Tina. You're a light for people. That's why you're doing this work. And your job is to keep that light on, keep it shining as brightly as you can, and realize, yes, we are very, very powerful. And
And it's not an easy path, right? So this whole channel is about self-love. The reason is because it's a journey and it's not an easy one. Like to sit here and say, oh, the other day, so I haven't drank alcohol in like 21 years or more, right?
oh,
I've
good job.
stopped, right? So I'm with my man and he has a glass of wine and I have a glass of kombucha, like in the same wine glass. And same color. So I accidentally take it. I'm like, oh God. And it's in my mouth and I go spit it out in the sink because you know what? That's 21 years of not having a drink of alcohol. And I'm really happy about that because what I say to myself is I don't want that in my body. I don't want it affecting my brain. I need to take care of me, and this is kind of my journey of self-love is taking care of me, and alcohol isn't my way of taking care of myself.
Good for you.
So
Good for you. Yeah, no, and so
I
we're always getting feedback. You know, if alcohol has a bad effect on us, or we've had a problem, or we really don't want that. I mean, I feel the same way about meat or things that are animal, products or things
right.
like that. And it's just like they give me. I haven't eaten it in years, but if I ever tried, I get a stomach ache. So we get
Right.
feedback from our bodies all the time of what's good. Do a cup of coffee, is it good, or do I need to stop? Or any of these things, right?
Right.
Sugar. But the feedback we get, we also get from the universe. The universe opens doors for us when we're going on the right pathway. If we're not on the right pathway, we'll find that it's not going well. It's not, doors are closing. But sometimes they close because there's a better opportunity. And I think you found that out lately,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. But even, yeah, the bad we have to, I think part, well, I'm going to ask you, part of when something really bad happens and we're like, oh no, and secure, like our security blanket gets pulled from us, and going into a state of panic, that won't help, right? What kind of state would we, what would we have to shift with that major thing happening to us that is not comfortable?
So I just had an example, and it made me think about that. I was going to be talking to you. I was getting my hair done, but the lady wanted to put straightener stuff on it, and so she put it on my head, and then all of a sudden I went into like a little panic attack, and I'm thinking, what is going on? And I'm thinking, I have a nephew who's not doing well. My brother-in-law just passed away. Lots of I'm moving, and I'm thinking, am I thinking about that? And I went, oh no, it's the whatever substance she put on my hair is making me feel uncomfortable. And then it triggered this sensitivity I have, and I went, let's think about my grandkids. And then I was okay. I changed the pathway. But a
So
cough.
you just focused, you just refocused yourself onto like your what I call blessings or your joys in your life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And I
Oh.
said to myself, Janet, this is just a temporary thing and it's going to feel okay. And we can be our own cheerleaders. And here comes my dog. So it's interesting because I love her, but I think I'm a little bit allergic, and so then it makes me start coughing. But she likes
Oh,
you. That's why she goes, I
she
like you.
likes me.
Yeah,
I like dogs too.
yeah.
Okay, and then so I think that, oh, my friend, right, the channeler was saying that fear gets in the way. It's going to get in the way. If I have fear, it's going to get in the way of my light and what I need to accomplish in this world and my actual pathway. So when things are happening, I I actually look at, oh God, I'm fearful, but I can't help but being fearful. So,
That's, you can train your brain to go to courage. I love the word courage. So fear
okay.
comes in. What kind of courage do I need to? Is it physical courage? We were moving big mattresses and box springs and stuff, and I went, I don't know if I should do this. Oh no, I can do it. And then it was
Yeah.
like, what does courage show? And courage is facing a tough situation, but showing up. We need to keep showing up for ourselves, and then once we take care of ourselves, for everyone we love, and then the planet. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about the different kinds of fear. So, fear of failure. What is that about?
So I don't buy into it. I think it's so funny. I think it's fear of success. We have failed a million times in our lives. As kids, we tried to walk and we fell down, and we do it as older people, like falling when you're running or whatever it might be. We get back up. We're not afraid to fail. We've done it a million times. So our bodies know, our minds know. What it is success. What happens with success? I know I looked at it myself like I'm ADD. Who's going to take care of the bookkeeping and the things that I'm not good at? And I went, oh, I could hire somebody. And then I looked at what other fear it would be. Like if I can't play as much, I love to play. And I went, no, I'll make sure I can still play. And so it's really fear of success. And I want people to look at that. We're, there's a poem by Marianne Williamson that it's our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. And our light, she says, who are we not to be great and beautiful and powerful? it is our darkness that we should then be afraid of, not afraid of, but our light, we want to shine it. And that's when I was talking to you about our light. Each person I meet has a light, and we want to encourage that light to get brighter, brighter, brighter.
How does one do that when they have a fear of success?
So I love being in the role of a therapist because I can see people and I can see their gifts and I can tell them. I think I might have said it, I have a sign that someone gave me, and it's a beautiful, colorful thing that says, "Because you believed in me, I believed in me." And what if we did that with our
That's
kids and our
beautiful.
grandkids and the people we love? You can do this, right? So our energy, because animals don't talk, they don't even, they just communicate to each other. We can communicate with our energy that yes, you are beautiful, you are strong, you are powerful, you can be successful. And if we see the gifts in each person, they'll start to see them.
That is beautiful because you know what? That's my purpose
Yeah.
is seeing, I call it seeing the greatness in others.
Oh, there's a book
Yeah.
like that, recognizing our greatness, and it's so cool. I know that there was a saying, and I read it somewhere. It says, "I want to do as much as I can for as long as I can, in any way I can, for anybody I can," and it just goes on like that. And it was like, yeah, that's why I'm here.
I love that. And okay.
Want me to tell you, there's another little story that I tell about
Okay.
a monk sitting on the bank with his student, and well, actually, there's two. I think I should do the monk that they're walking along. They're walking along, and he sees a lady that's trying to carry all her sticks and to make fires across a lake, but she's older, she can't do it. So the monk takes her sticks and holds her hand and gets her across the river. And the student, they're walking about a half hour, 30 minutes later, and the student goes, "All right, I've got to ask you, monk, you know we're not supposed to touch women. Why did you do that? You broke the rule and you touched a woman." And he said, "I dropped her hand 30 minutes ago. Why are you still carrying it?" And then we have to look at, why do we carry these things? Why do we carry these things that are only hurting us? Um, yes.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, and we attach to it so like with claws so much, and becomes our life, isn't it? And with this like I call it a deep thinking, but with that it's like it's easier to release and say, "Oh, wait, we can make up a story because everything is made up anyway."
Yes,
Like that story that we're like gripping onto, someone else saw it completely different.
for sure, for sure. And so,
And we probably made it up through the years and changed the story, and we're still believing this is the story.
and we hurt ourselves. We're the only animal that hurts ourselves. I mean, what is this about that we hurt ourselves? Well, I think the lemmings,
Too much.
if it gets too crowded, they go off the edge of a cliff because they can't stand the crowds or whatever. But most animals don't commit suicide. They don't beat themselves up with their thinking. And there's nothing good from carrying that. You're so right. So if we allow the light to keep shining, we allow the courage, we allow our dreams. You talked about creating. When we're in a creative state, we are in such a positive state. The idea of creating art or music or solutions or happiness or joy or smiles, it's all good, right?
It really is. And just living that way and continue living that way, it just feels so good. It's like, I don't, it's this warmth, in my heart. It just feels great. And I can't help but smile sometimes.
I know. It's
All the
always
time. I'm always smiling. And something bad happened at work, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's just handle it. Smiling.
My daughter used to make fun of me that there was one of those Orange County Housewives or something like that, but it was New Jersey or something. And she goes, "Mom, you're just like this lady. I have to show you." And this lady, like, she would fall down and she'd be bleeding. She goes, "It's okay, it's okay." But she goes, "You're just," I thought nobody else saw it, but I could see it, right? Yeah.
And I think with for you, it's just seeing that you practice so much of developing yourself, and just yeah, just you're always happy and smiling every time I see you, and you're like we talked about last time. You're like, I have no fear anymore, and I just go and do it, and I'm just like in awe of that
That's
because
so
I'm
sweet.
still working on just letting go of this fear and transforming it into something that has me vibrate and like you said, like my light.
Right, right.
Um,
So, Tina, what if it's just allowing it? It isn't even that you have to, you just allow it. We were given this life force, and if we put a umbrella or cover over it, then it changes. But if we just allow it to come through us, it's really that simple. And I know that we've all been taught to hold back, to not to be more humble or whatever. But can I tell you another story? It's so funny.
please.
Right. So the other one I was starting with, the monk by the side of, he was sitting by the side of a river with his student, and they were talking, and he was trying to teach lessons to his student, and he saw a scorpion fall in the water. So the monk reached down, brought out the scorpion. The scorpion stung him. He put it on the side of the bank, and then he kept talking to his student. The student's looking like, whoa. And so then the scorpion falls in again, and the monk goes in and picks it up, gets stung again, puts it to the side of the bank, and they go on talking. Well, the third time that the scorpion fell in, the monk goes to reach in to grab it, and the student goes, Monk, monk, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? The monk picked it up and says, it's in the scorpion's power to sting. It's in my energy to help people and help things. And so I save, he stings. And it was like, that's your nature. When you find out your nature, you can't hold back on it. Uh,
Ah,
isn't
that's beautiful.
I know.
It is. Because would we, so I know a lot of people have stuff buried, right? They have their filters and they have their experiences through life, and they're not living their full life or they don't have their light yet. What would you suggest for those types of people? Would you,
So I'm thinking of the chakras. Like for people who don't speak their truth, I go home and sing. Start singing because you look at entertainers, they always tell their truth. That I don't care who they are,
yeah,
you know where they stand politically, environmentally, all of that, because
yeah.
they're always singing. They're keeping their throat chakra open, moving the body. It's this thing has to be this thing. Our bodies have to be taken care of so that we can be all that we want to be. And you, by not drinking alcohol, you are taking a stance and saying, I care about, I love myself, I want to do what's right for my body. And that's a wonderful stance. And so is singing, so is dancing, so is running, so is playing, so is art and music and all the things that add to our being. Loving, making love, all that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay. That's nice because I was just going to say would meditation work, but
I meditate 50 minutes every day and I love it.
mhm.
And I spend 50 minutes to an hour with every client. So I thought, why wouldn't I spend that time with myself every day, trying
Yeah.
to just connect and make sure I start out the day connected. But yes, I highly recommend it. I also think just be around high vibrational people and things and music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point because when how I stopped drinking was I got rid of those friends that I drank with. Like I said, no, I can't be with you guys anymore. I'm not going to drink. And as soon as that happened, I started meeting friends in the health industry,
Yeah.
like really healthy people. Like, oh, it just changed my life. And never needed, they don't drink. So, and if they did, it was just like a sip and they're done. So I never even thought to have it or want it. And then as my life's going, I'm learning more and more about health and fitness and what does work for you and what doesn't work for you. And it's like, oh, well, that didn't really work for me anyway. So,
I think
and
being sober is the new way. I think we're going to see more and more people, and we're hearing about it more and more. And so you were one of the pioneers. Nope, I don't
yeah.
do
Whew.
it. Good job. Tina. Great job.
Yeah, well, took jail time, but yeah,
Okay, that's again, if we don't listen to the feedback, the lessons get harder.
they
And
do.
yeah, So that was a
They
big one.
do. I mean, even today, everything's shifting and everything's moving, and like the world is different now, and the workplace is different, and our prices are going higher, and we can't avoid any of this. So, how are we going to manage and get through all of this? It's showing us a different way. I think there's something there that's happening.
Well, so have you read about how gravity is expanding a bit? The what is it? Our tilt of the Earth is a little bit off right now.
Really?
Yes, and they've measured that it's spinning just a fraction of a whatever it is millisecond faster or whatever. So of course we're feeling all these things. Insomnia
Ah,
is rampant, and then more
ah,
than meditation, I'd say turn off any source of news because it's just increasing the fear. And how can you look at any of these headlines and not think, oh my gosh, are we going to make it? And um, the world's going to be what it is right now. We can definitely send healing energy, light. We can love one another. But I think we're going to see communities get together and help each other. That's what's going to happen. And so I recommend, getting to know your neighbors, getting to know people around you, making sure you have that community, because we're going to need each other as this transition of the world happens. So.
yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, I never thought of that. And yeah, having people around is the best, I think. We need each other. We're humans, and that's what we do.
So when you've seen these disasters, like in the flood in Texas, or they get
Yeah,
together and they help. And this is
yeah,
gonna, yeah, this is what we used to be people that did that. We haven't been lately.
yeah. It's so true. Like most people don't know their neighbors.
I know, I know. And I don't know what the UK is like, but living in California, it's so transient and it's not like our family lives around or whatever, but it's really important to have the connections. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm grateful because here in the UK, I know most all my neighbors.
Oh, good.
So if anything, and we live in a cul-de-sac, so if anything happened, you know, I have a neighbor across the street who knows everyone. He knows everyone's business. It's really good to have him though, because we
Yes.
need neighbors like that.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Get each other's phone numbers. I don't know. Yeah, whatever it
Yeah,
takes.
we do. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
can you pick this up for me? Da da da. Can you take out my trash? I won't be home. That
oh,
kind
that's
of thing.
so cool.
Yeah, it's a great neighborhood. Yeah, it really is.
I'm so glad.
But it's part of the blessing. It's part of the light. It's part of things I count every day as something I'm grateful for. These are really, I think these are important things to keep my light going.
And so, do you
Yeah.
meditate? And are you into exercise and all those things?
Yeah, I exercise probably 5 days a week, and I power walk 2 days a week. So 7 days a week.
Yeah, good, good.
And yeah, I've meditate probably 2 days a week. Um, yeah,
When you're still raising your kids, it's harder when you have, kids around and things like that. But I would imagine on the days you don't get a chance to meditate, you can feel a difference.
I don't meditate as often because, yeah, he's loud. He's 17 and loud. So, yeah, I have to wake up early in the morning to meditate, or, yeah, early in the morning. Or I just go into my areas here, this conservatory where I'm at, and I just close the door and I'll do a meditation if I really need to. But yeah, and I'm working on changing and my brain synopsis. I'm wanting to connect it in other places in other ways because I'm changing and I think my brain needs to come along with me
Yes, yes.
with my body and with all this because I'm also aging. So I'm working on those
Yeah.
those brain connections to say, okay, let's lift everything
So,
instead
so
of droop it.
what they've shown is that by moving, which you did, you make new synapses because you have to change where you get everything, right? Everything's so different, and
It's
you're really in a
hard.
different place. So moving to a new place, learning a language, and learning a musical instrument, all of those things help to increase the brain synapses. So,
Okay, so I'm
okay.
doing two of those. I've moved and I'm learning Polish.
Oh, I understand why you're learning Polish. It's very cool.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one because it doesn't sound like it's spelt. Like ours sounds like it's spelt, but not. It's interesting, yeah. So
It's bad
I'm
for people
learning.
learning English too, though, because when you have blue and they're
Oh,
so
it's true.
different. It's like, how do they do this? Yeah.
Yeah, and then the e at the end, we would say, I don't know, they have an e at the end, and it's like my friend Elka, and I called her Elkie, but it's Elka,
Wow.
and that's like it's hard for me. Now I know better. If there's an e at the end, it's a sound, not a e sound. So there's like those things that I'm learning.
I love that about
Missing
Spanish
it
too.
all.
The I is like an E and all that. It's wonderful to, yeah. And
Yeah, it's just the accent that I cannot get down. It's really,
you're
it's
learning.
really,
You're getting it.
it's,
You're be very good to yourself. Like just the fact of doing this is very good for your brain, your body, your soul.
yeah, and it's a fight. It's like an internal fight to learn something or do something new. When I first moved to this country, I was fighting and yelling and kicking and screaming and the whole way. This can't be. Why is this so hard? Why do you guys make it so hard?
Really?
Yeah. And I kick and scream, but it's more complaining than anything. So, yeah, just having this learning, doing the learning itself is quite a something to get through.
So look at the challenges. Don't we learn more during the challenges than when we're just doing something that's routine? I worry about the people who their lives are so routine and they're just always the same when they lived in the same house and they have the same friends and they're not stimulating it's like totally not living. Yeah, like
Oh my God, you're so right. It's not living.
there's
Because
no world out.
sometimes when anxiety happens to me, I say to myself, but you're doing things differently in your life. There's unknowns here. Of course, you're going to feel this way.
Exactly. Because you're growing, you're growing. I was telling
Yeah.
Tina, I was telling you about that book that Don Miguel Luis has written
Oh,
about
yeah.
the
Oh, yeah.
arrows of fear. That the arrow goes into us. We could pull the arrow out, but the poison of the arrow is still there, the fear. And so that's what we have to work
Right.
on. These are old messages that we don't. The poison of alcohol, any of that stuff, we don't want it in this energetic field. And so if you're feeling fear, it would be like, no, I don't want to. I mean, this is something, it's our choice, our choice. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we could just turn it into like in our mind. I'm just thinking of how this brain and the synapses can rewire itself. We could just say to ourselves, "Oh, this this isn't fear. This is something exciting and new coming up for me. This is going to be great. This is something that I'm doing that's different." That's
Yeah, yeah.
all.
It can be exciting. So the first time I went to Africa by myself, it was during apartheid in South Africa, and I was going by myself, and I was young, and
Oh,
I kept thinking, I'm starting to feel afraid, and then I go, no, I'm so excited, I'm so excited, and by the time I got on the airplane, I could hardly sit still because I had said I'm so excited so much that I was just really
you
excited.
were just excited. And I think that's what we just need to do because, again, there's the matrix. We're creating that. If we're creating, I'm scared, scary things are going to happen.
Yeah.
But if we're creating, I'm so excited, I can't wait, great things and adventures are going to happen that you could talk about for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And I think that's what living, like you said, that's what living is going for it anyway and doing something different, feeling uncomfortable once in a while. And yeah,
I used to want to put in Braveheart. Mel Gibson says, "All men die, some men never live." I wanted to write, "All people die, some people never really live," and trying to motivate people, go out there and live your life. Go out there.
Yeah. I mean, is that part of being self-love, though?
Yes.
Feeling the uncomfortable and going out and living your life.
Yeah,
It just lights people up, yeah?
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really good. Um, yeah, I've noticed that the shadow keeps coming in, but I can't do anything about it.
Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
okay,
It's
good, good.
okay.
Okay, where the sun comes through the window. Um, so I think we
So
covered a lot, right?
we did, and I just wanted you to go ahead and tell people how they can get a hold of you.
Oh, you're so sweet. So I'm under janetwhitneymft.com. That's my website. And my book, Facing Your Fears, Following Your Dreams, is on Amazon. I would much rather be able to have somebody to coach and to work with, even if you're in a different area. I can be a coach and not a therapist at that point. But under my website, Janet Whitney, MFT, it's marriagefamilytherapist.com. But that's so sweet, Tina. Thank you.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. I think you're incredible. You're not like your typical therapist. You're definitely someone a person can count on and really have a shift and a transformation with you, for
Oh,
sure.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. And if somebody is saying, hey, help me, I'm reaching out a hand, I'll definitely take it. Yeah.
Well, you also have your own podcast show,
Yes.
right? You
It's
do
under
your
my
own
name on
podcast.
YouTube. Yes.
Yes, on YouTube. So you have that people can go see. I'll go ahead and put a few in there for you
You're so
that they
sweet.
can go
Thank you.
sweet.
Thank you. I love
No
connecting with you
problem.
again. People don't know that we were, connected years and years ago, and then across the ocean, we're connected again.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the recording so we'll have a final chat.
Okay.
Um,